Good morning students, welcome to today's online class. So students, today we will start a new chapter, that is chapter 3. And chapter 3 students, chapter 3 is on coordinate geometry, okay? Coordinate geometry. So coordinate geometry. So students, coordinate geometry, students, how is coordinate geometry helpful to us? Coordinate geometry is helpful to us in locating a point on a surface, two-dimensional surface. Earth, the surface of the earth is a two-dimensional surface like this, isn't it? The surface is any kind of surface. This surface is also a two-dimensional surface. On a two-dimensional surface, if you want to locate a point, on any two-dimensional surface, coordinate geometry will help you. Okay. So students, let us take one example to make you understand in a proper way. So let us take an example. Suppose one main street is there. Many streets you have seen like this, isn't it? So let me just draw it for you. West to east. West to east, one main street is there, and this is house number 1, house number 2, house number 3, house number 4, house number 5, and this is suppose street 1, and same house number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is street 2, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is street 3. Okay, this is street 4. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And suppose one more. So this is street 5. House number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Suppose this is the main road. Okay. This is the main road. Many main roads are there. No, main road is the one from which the other bylanes enter, isn't it? One main road is always there, and on the both sides of the road the bylanes enter. These are the bylanes. This is street number 1. This is the main road. Okay. Any road you consider in Barpeda road itself. Okay. In our area itself you consider one road. So this is the main road, and this is street 1. Street 2, street 3, street 4, and street 5. Suppose one of your friend stays in. Suppose you ask someone that where is your friend staying. That person informs you that your friend stays in the 3rd number street, 3 number street. Okay. So in the street number 3, many houses are there, isn't it? These are house numbers. See, street 1, house number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Many more than 5 also will be there. Street number 2, house number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Street number 3, house number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Street number 4, house number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Again, street number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Street is running from west to east. Suppose, okay, or as you consider east to west. Okay. So if you are coming from that side, the street will be from east to west, and if you are going from this side, then it will be from west to east. So now if any of your friend informs you, or as I said, you have asked someone that where is your friend's house. Your friend's any name is there. Suppose you are just searching your friend's house. For some days he has not come to school, so that you just want to know whether he or she is well and good enough, isn't it? So you are searching your friend, searching for your friend. So you have asked someone in this area that where is your, means like where your friend is staying. You asked him, you asked that person. So that person informed you that your friend's house in the street number 3. Your friend's house in the street number 3. With only this much knowledge, can you find out which is your friend's house? Only the person said you that your friend's house is in street number 3. Your friend's house is located in street number 3. That much only. Now, how will you find out in street number 3? There will be many houses. I have just marked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There will be more than 5 houses, isn't it? So, will you go to each and every house to search for your friend? Not like that. That is not the good way, isn't it? The better way would be that if the house number is also mentioned to you, isn't it? If the person would have said you that your friend stayed or your friend is staying in the street number 3 and house number also 4. Suppose the house number he also gave you, house number 4. You just enter the street number 3 and house number 4 will be your friend's house. That would be the better way, isn't it? So now you see, 2 things are required. Always, if you are locating any point on a particular surface, always 2 things will be required to locate that point in a precise way. Okay. So now what you will do? You will just enter this main street. And street number 3 you will enter and you will enter the house number 4. So you will find your friend's house very easily. So always on a surface, to locate a point on a surface, 2 things are always required. Okay, understood? Again students, let us consider one more example. Suppose a piece of paper is there. Okay, suppose a piece of paper is there. This is a piece of paper. On this piece of paper, you have just put a dot like this. On this piece of paper, you have put a dot like this. Now, if your friend now your friend is asking you, describe the location of this dot. You are asked to describe the location of this dot on this piece of paper. Okay, so how will you describe, students? How will you describe? So you will just measure this much. This length you will measure. And this length you will measure. So this length is suppose 10 centimeter and this length is suppose 5 centimeter. Okay, so you will tell your friend that you are locating this point, isn't it? This point you are locating. So you will tell your friend, you will explain him that the point is at a distance of 10 centimeter from the left edge and at a distance of 5 centimeter from the upper edge. So once again you see, 2 things are always required to locate a point on the piece of paper. So this point from this left edge, this is the left edge, from this left edge, and how much distance away is this point? From the left edge, this point is 10 centimeter away, and from the upper edge, this point is 5 centimeter away, isn't it? But listen to me very carefully. If you don't measure this, now you are saying to your friend that the point is 10 centimeter away from the left edge. The point is 10 centimeter away from the left edge. Will that be an exact location? No, because 10 centimeter away from this edge, this point is also there. 10 centimeter away from this edge, this point is also there. 10 centimeter away from this edge, this point is also there. Understood? All these are 10 centimeter away from the left edge. Understood? But when you say that this point lies at a distance of 10 centimeter The point is at a distance of 10 centimeter from the left edge and at a distance of 5 centimeter from the upper edge. Then the exact location will come out. Isn't it? 10 centimeter from the left edge and 5 centimeter from the upper edge. At a distance of 5 centimeter from the upper edge. Then you will get the exact location of the point. Understood? So in this way you see, students, yet again we came to know that for describing the location of any point on a surface we need two things. Two things are required. Okay, always two coordinates. Suppose while we locate, you have, I think you are learning or you have learned or you will get this year also itself, I think, in geography, the latitudes and longitudes. I think all of you have got little bit about latitudes and longitudes. To locate any point on the surface of the earth, both the latitude and longitude will be required. If you give only latitude, it will not be enough. If you give only longitude, I am talking about latitude and longitude. Students, latitude and longitude, isn't it? So latitude and longitude, for locating any point on the surface of the earth, both the latitude and longitude are required, isn't it? See, yet again, two things are required to locate a point on any surface. Earth, our surface of the earth is also a surface, isn't it? So students, exercise 3.1, let us start. Let us start exercise 3.1. So, exercise 3.1, students, how will you describe the position of a table lamp on your study table to another person? This one is the dot I gave on the piece of paper. Just I explain one example I gave. If you put a dot on a piece of paper, how will you describe the location of that point? Exactly like that only you will answer this. Okay? The manner is same. In that way only you can answer this easily. 3.1 number 2. Let us come to number 2. Number 2. A city has two main roads. A city has two main roads which cross each other at the center of the city. These two roads are along the north-south and east-west direction. Okay, two roads are there, two main roads. Okay, and all other streets of the city run parallel to these roads and are 200 meters apart. There are 5 streets in each direction. Using 1 centimeter is equal to 200 meter. 1 centimeter is equal to 200 meter. Draw a model of the city. 1 centimeter means 200 meter. Okay. Draw a model of the city on your notebook. Represent the roads or streets by single lines. Okay. There are many cross streets in your model. A particular cross street is made by the two streets, one running in the north-south direction, other in the east-west direction. Each cross street is referred to in the following manner. If the second street running in the north-south direction and the fifth in the east-west direction meet at some crossing, we will call this cross street 2,5. Okay, using this convention, find how many cross streets can be referred to as 4,3 and how many cross streets can be referred to as 3,4. Okay, so let us do this then, students. So, west, east. Okay, west, east, and north, south. Okay. number 1, street number 2, street number 3, street number 4, street number 5. And here again, this is street number 1, street number 2, street number 3, street number 4, and street number 5. Okay, students. So now see what the question is saying. The question is saying you that question here is saying you in a city has two main roads which cross each other at the center of the city. Two main roads are there. Okay, two roads are along the north-south direction, and east-west direction. Okay. So all the other streets are of the city run parallel to these roads. Other streets are parallel to these roads. This is street 1 along the east-west, street 1, street 2, street 3, street 4, street 5. And along the north-south, street 1, street 2, street 3, street 4, street 5. Okay, students. So there are many. Yes, using 1 centimeter is equal to 200 meter. Draw a model of the city on your notebook. This is 1 centimeter distance from here to here. From here to here, you will draw this on your notebook. Okay, on your notebook you will draw this. From here to here, this is from here to here, this is 1 centimeter. Scale is, you can write the scale. Scale is 1 centimeter is equal to 200 meter. It is given in the question itself. Okay, 1 centimeter is equal to 200 meter. That means this is one at the gap of 1 centimeter. At the gap of 1 centimeter, you will keep this gap 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter. And 1 centimeter means actually 200 meter. Okay. So after that, there are many streets, there are many cross streets in your model. A particular cross street is made by two streets, one running in the north-south direction and another in the east-west direction. Each cross street is referred to in the following manner. If the second street running in the north-south direction and fifth in the east-west direction meet at some point, second street running in the north-south direction, second street running in the north-south direction, this one second street, isn't it? And fifth running in the east-west direction meet at some crossing, then we will call this street 2-5. Yes, second street running in the north-south direction and fifth running in the east-west direction. These two are meeting at this point. No, this point will be called 2,5. Okay, that means there are many crossings. You see, this street and this street are crossing here. This street and this street are crossing here. This is the street number 4. Street number 4 and street number 1 is also crossing. Street number 3 and street number 3 is also crossing. All the 5 streets are crossing with these 5 streets, isn't it? These 5 streets and these 5 streets are crossing at many points, isn't it? This is one crossing. This is one crossing. This is one crossing. This is one more. This is one more. Here one example it is given here. If the second street in the north-south direction and the fifth in the east-west direction. If the second street in the north-south direction, okay, in the north-south direction, this is the second street. Street number 2. See, if the second street in the north-south direction, street number 2, street number 1 in the north-south direction is this one. Street number 2 in the north-south direction is this one. Street number 1 in the north-south direction, this one. Street number 2 in the north-south direction, this one. Street number 3 in the north-south direction, this one. So, second number street in the north-south direction and second number street in the north-south direction, the second street in the north-south direction and fifth in the east-west direction. And fifth in the east-west direction. Second in the north-south direction and fifth in the east-west direction. These two meet at this point, no? This point will be called 2,5. Understood? Now in the question, students, in the question it said that how many cross streets can be referred to as 4,3 and how many cross streets can be referred to as 3,4. 4,3, let us see, students. 4,3. Okay, so 4,3 means 4 number street in the north-south direction. 4,3. Street number 1, street number 2. Just see, okay. Street number 1, 2, 3, 4. 4th street and 4 comma 3, isn't it? Number 1 is 4 comma 3, and third street in the east-west direction. So 1, 2, 3. This crossing will be called 4 comma 3, and next one is 3 comma 4. 3 comma 4, that means third street. 1, 2, 3. Third street in the north-south direction, and fourth street in the east-west direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. This point will be your 3 comma 4. 3 comma 4. See, students, all of you, how many cross streets can be referred to as 4 comma 3? How many cross streets are there? How many cross streets are there that can be referred to as 4 comma 3? 4 comma 3 means in the north-south direction, 4th street. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4th street, and 4 comma 3, isn't it? And 3 means what? 3 means third street in the east-west direction. So 1, 2, 3. This point, isn't it? This is the point where the 4th street of the north-south direction and the third street of the east-west direction are meeting, isn't it? The point itself is saying 4 comma 3. Like this point was what? This point was second street of meeting point of, this point was the meeting point of second street in the east-west direction. See here what it said. If the second street running in the north-south direction, north-south direction, okay. If the second street running in the north-south direction, and fifth in the east-west direction, both are meeting, then this crossing will be called 2 comma 5. In the same way, 4 comma 3 will be 4th street in the north-south direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4th street in the north-south direction and 3rd street in the east-west direction. So 1, 2, 3. This is 4 comma 3. Understood? And next one is 3 comma 4. So 3rd street in the 3 comma 4 means 3rd street in the north-south direction. So 1, 2, 3, and 4th in the east-west direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 3 comma 4. And how many such streets are there? These streets are unique. You write below. The cross streets are unique, isn't it? Can you find any more 4 comma 3? 4 comma 3 will be only this point, isn't it? 4 comma 3 will be only with this point, and 3 comma 4 also will be this one only, and 2 comma 5 will be uniquely this one only. The cross streets are unique. Okay, students. So the cross streets are unique, isn't it? Because you see, you cannot find any more 4 comma 3 and 3 comma 4. These are one unique, isn't it? You cannot find any more of 4 comma 3 and 3 comma 4. 4 comma 3 is only this point. This cross street will be called 4 comma 3, and this one will be called 3 comma 4. Any other 4 comma 3 you can find, or what you cannot find. Okay, so these cross streets are unique. This is just diagrammatically for your understanding only. This question is given. Okay. So students, now why these are unique? Because the two reference lines we have used for locating them. One is in the north-south direction and one is in the east-west direction, isn't it? You can say west-east also. If you are coming from that side, you can say, because of these cross streets are unique because of the reference lines we have used to locate them. Okay, which are the reference lines? This is one reference line in the north-south direction, and this is one more reference line in the east-west direction, as you say. Okay, north-south and west-east also you can say. And as said in the question they said your north-south direction and east-west direction. Okay, so north-south direction, this is one reference line, and this is one more reference line, that is east-west direction. North-south and east-west. Okay, in the question itself it is given north-south direction and east-west direction. North-south and east-west. Okay, these two are the reference lines. From here only we are counting those. See, why these are called reference lines, students? Why these are called reference line? Because from here only we are counting. Street number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, isn't it? From here also again. See, when we count street number 1, we count from this line, isn't it? This is the reference line. From here only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And from here also we will count. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these two are reference lines. Reference lines means one particular, suppose for reference line example also we can take. Suppose someone asks you that where is your Hanuman Mandir? Suppose someone asks you, or where is your Hotel Dolly? If someone asks you, then what will you say? It is near our railway station. It is near the railway station, because now here railway station is the reference point. If someone comes from outside and any person asks you that where is your Saint Joseph, or where is Manas Valley Academy, you will say that near Shimlaguri. From Shimlaguri will be the reference point. Or suppose anyone asks you where is the Nepali Mandir, suppose. Now Manas Valley can become the reference point. Near Manas Valley Academy only your Nepali Mandir is there. Did you understand? So any one particular point with the help of which reference point means any particular point with the help of which we can describe the location of any other point. Okay, so we can write reference point like this. Reference point. The two lines were reference lines, and the point where the two lines were meeting. Okay, these two lines were there, no? North south and west east. This point is called the reference point. Okay. Reference point. Okay, students. So reference point, the point on a surface which helps us to locate the point, which helps us to locate any other point, is called the reference point. Okay, so on a surface, as I said, suppose someone asks you where is your as I said, if someone asks you where is Hanuman Mandir in Barpeta Road, so Hanuman Mandir in Barpeta Road, where is it? You will say that it is near railway station. So railway station is the reference point. Okay, so where is, suppose both the points, suppose sometimes very popular points, suppose Nepali Mandir, in our case, in case of Manas Valley Academy, Nepali Mandir is also a reference point, and Manas Valley Academy can also become a reference point. Okay, suppose someone asks you, someone knows Nepali Mandir, someone knows the exact location of Nepali Mandir, and that person is asking you where is Manas Valley Academy. You will just say that person that it is near the Nepali Mandir. Okay, and if someone asks you where is Nepali Mandir, that person knows Manas Valley Academy, but he or she does not know where is Nepali Mandir. He exactly knows where Manas Valley Academy lies. So you can say to that person that you just go to Manas Valley Academy, near Manas Valley Academy only your Nepali Mandir is there. Okay, so this is the work of a reference point. Reference point helps us to locate any other point. Okay.